everyone! You ever feel like you're supposed to be this beacon of light, but man, you look around and everything just feels dark? Well, today, we're jumping into the book of Isaiah to wrestle with a command that is both so inspiring and, let's be honest, feels kind of impossible. Arise, shine. We're going to see how this ancient message hits right at the heart of our modern struggles, and actually offers a totally different way to be a light in the world. And yeah, this is really the question, isn't it? I mean, you see the news, you feel the pressure in your own life, and the world can feel just overwhelmingly heavy. So when you hear a command to shine, it can land less like an encouragement and more like this crushing, impossible demand. How are you supposed to do that? But this is the verse that kicks the whole thing off. Isaiah 60, verse 1. It's so bold, so unapologetic. And there's this huge tension, right, between our actual experience of darkness and this powerful declaration of light. So how in the world do we bridge that gap? Well, let's dig into the backstory and find out what's really going on here. Okay, so to really get the power of this command in chapter 60, we have to hit rewind and go back one chapter to Isaiah 59. You could say chapter 59 is the diagnosis. It tells us why we feel so powerless and disconnected to begin with. See, Isaiah 59 makes it super clear. The problem isn't that God can't save or that he isn't listening. The issue is on our end. The original Hebrew uses this fascinating word, toga. Now, this means way more than just a one-off sin. It's talking about a twist, a distortion, a kind of deep-seated crookedness in how we see things that actually creates a barrier between us and God. The pastor in our source material used this brilliant picture for it, a twisted water hose. Just imagine it. God is the source, right? The faucet. And the water, his power, his life, is always on. We, as people, as a church community, we're supposed to be the hose that channels that living water to the world. But when our hearts get twisted up by cynicism or wrong beliefs or just habitual junk, that toga, it puts a kink in the hose. The supply is still there, but nothing's getting through. So, what does life actually look like when that flow is blocked? Isaiah 59 gives us another really vivid, if a little strange image to describe what happens when we're disconnected. Okay, I know, hatching viper's eggs, spinning a spider's web. What on earth is that about? Well, it's a powerful metaphor for all of our human efforts when we're cut off from the true source of power. Think about it. We work so hard, right? We're trying to build something that matters, something that gives us a sense of protection and meaning, like a good set of clothes. But when we do it all in our own strength, the result is a spider's web. Sure, it looks complicated and we put in a ton of effort, but it's so fragile. It's basically useless. It gives no real covering. It is the perfect picture of exhausting, meaningless work that leaves us totally exposed. So the picture Isaiah 59 paints is pretty bleak. We're disconnected, we're powerless, and all our best efforts are literally producing nothing but useless spiderwebs. We are completely, 100% stuck. And it's right here, at the absolute lowest point, that the whole story takes this incredible, dramatic turn. The chapter describes a society that's just fallen apart. Truth has been thrown out, justice is gone, and nobody seems able to do anything about it. And it says, God looks around. He's searching for someone, anyone, to step up and intervene. And he finds no one. No one at all. But instead of just scrapping the whole project, God says, fine, I'll do it myself. He sees that humanity is totally incapable of fixing its own mess. So his own arm, his own power is what brings about the rescue. And he doesn't just kind of wave a magic wand. The Bible says he literally suits up for battle. He puts on righteousness like body armor, salvation like a helmet. He wraps himself in zeal like a cloak. This is a picture of God personally, powerfully stepping into our broken world to fight for us. Okay, this divine intervention, this is the whole game changer. It's the key that finally unlocks the power to shine. So let's see how this completely flips the script and makes that command in chapter 60 not just a possibility, but our new reality. Which brings us right back to our big question. If all our trying harder just produces spiderwebs, and if we've got this internal toga that kinks the hose, then how is it even possible for us to shine? What's the secret? Well, the answer is found in this beautiful and powerful vision given to another prophet, Zechariah. He sees a golden lampstand, which is a symbol for God's people, the church. But this is not your average lampstand. You see, a normal lamp in the temple needed constant human effort. The priests had to keep trimming the wicks, refilling the oil. It was a lot of work, and it could always run out. But the lamp in Zechariah's vision, totally different. It was connected by these golden pipes directly to two living olive trees that provided a non-stop, unending supply of oil. And here's the message that God gives Zechariah to explain what he's seeing. This is the whole point. Our ability to be a light has nothing to do with our own might or our own power or our own effort. It comes from being directly connected to the source, fueled constantly by the very Spirit of God. So what does all this mean for us, right here, right now? What happens when a local church, your church, my church, stops trying so hard to be the light and instead just focuses on getting connected to this divine, unending power source? Isaiah 60 gives us a jaw-dropping preview. I mean, just look at these promises. These aren't small things. We're talking about real influence in our communities, people being drawn to the light they see in us. We're talking about family restoration, something so many of us are desperate for, and real, tangible provision, the resources to actually do good in the world. And the key is, this isn't the result of a better program or a bigger building. It's just the natural overflow of a local church reflecting God's glory. And that's the thing about our source. It's not a battery that's going to run down. It's an ancient olive tree, something that can live for thousands of years. It's a picture of an eternal, never-ending, unfailing supply of God's grace and power. The fuel is always there for us. So this brings us right back to where we started. That command, arise, shine. It's not God yelling at a burnt-out church to just try harder. Not at all. It's an invitation. A powerful, freeing invitation to stop all the frantic spiderweb weaving and instead just connect. Untwist the hose and let His life, His power, His light flow through us. And that leaves us with one last, unavoidable question. It's a question for every single one of us and for every local church out there. The source is infinite. The supply is eternal. So if we feel powerless, if our communities aren't seeing the light, the problem isn't on God's end. The question comes right back to us. What twist, what kink in the hose is blocking the flow? And what's one step we can take, together, to straighten it out and just let the light shine?